All right, Wholesome One, Damian Hernandez. I still think Avery Huff is your ideal striker. I guess we simply don't have the linebacker depth to let him try, though.
I believe that when you talk about Avery Huff and his size and ability, it does scream striker, exactly because of what people see with Isaiah Simmons. I mean, 6'3", 6'2.5", 6'3", 205 to 209 has been the weight that he's been fluctuating back and forth with. That screams what you would think theoretically would be a great striker. But and from what we've seen with our depth chart and how our coaches are looking at our depth chart, why not put Avery Huff at linebacker, which makes him an even more athletic linebacker, and just move a safety down to striker, as opposed moving Avery Huff to striker and then making him more of a run stop striker, when you can leave him in at linebacker and update athleticism at linebacker and just roll down a safety who wasn't playing much at strong safety to the striker position. That's exactly what we did. We left Avery Huff next to 5-year or 5th-year eligibility Zach McCloud, left him inside next to Zach McCloud, 6'3.5" Zach McCloud and 6'2", 6'3" Avery Huff. In the inside, both have athleticism that can nimble, can scrape, can stop the run, can take on blocks. And then you move a guy like Gilbert Frierson, who was a corner that we moved to striker. Then you have Keontre Smith come down to striker. And then you have Keyshawn Washington, one of the early enrollees, learning strong safety and striker. So now we have athleticism and depth at 2 key positions. I can agree with that sentiment about Avery Huff. That's something I thought also. Why not put him there? But when you think about the athleticism and the teams that we play, you want to be able to cover at almost all positions. All right. If we bring down a safety to striker, it helps them be able to cover at the striker position. But if we leave a guy who's basically a striker and move him into linebacker, now we can cover at the linebacker position also. So for teams like North Carolina, teams like Duke, teams like Virginia Tech, the people who are in our ACC coastal rivals, they are all spread-based teams that over the last 2 to 3 years have attacked the striker and the linebacker positions. So what we have decided to do is to elevate the coverage and athleticism at both of those positions, moving a striker to linebacker and moving a strong safety down to striker, to update the athleticism and coverage so that we can combat the spread attack on our team, which I think was a great move.
Anthony Manzano. Okay, I don't necessarily know that we need to dig too much into this, in particular, the situation nationally involving what's going to happen at the U, because they're in the same situation
everyone else is. Yeah, no one knows.
Wait and see, take precautions. Everyone's going to lean heavily on the favor of health and safety for the student athletes and everybody in the general public. So yeah, absolutely. Let's understand. Yeah, we can all be taking as many precautions as possible. And let's all understand that everything's backed up 3 weeks minimum right now. We're at 3 weeks. So as this continues on, it's going to be at least 3 weeks. And yes, there's going to be a decision. And let's say it's in that gray area. You're going to see some teams and some programs that are going to say, we're going to condense spring football and still have a spring game, maybe mid-May. There's going to be other programs that are going to say, we still get the work in. We still do what we need to do. The spring game is just a glorified practice anyway. We're good without it. And I would expect not a whole lot of spring games to be played, even if we don't go much beyond this 3 weeks. But it's all speculative right now, Anthony. We don't have any answers for you. We're not officials. The officials don't have any answers for you that run these programs. They are on a wait and see. The only thing we know right now, again, we are at least 3 weeks backed up. We are suspended for at least 3 weeks, pretty much across the board with any kind of sporting activities.
Now, I will honestly say this much. This will test the leadership on football teams, because this isn't stopping the young men from coming together and having 7-on-7. The young men all coming together and say, hey, we probably can't go to the school wellness, but let's all get a 24-hour fitness, whatever. Let's all go lift together. let's all go run the beach together. These are the type of things that something like this is going to test the leadership and the mental strength of young men being able to pull together and do things together, because you can't do it in the name of the institutions because everything is shut down. But leadership is going to be tested during this time where we can't really meet representing the University of Miami or wherever they are as a school and as a team. We can't meet and have, practice or whatever. So